welcome to Crochet Knit Love by Jo. I'm Jo and this is episode 27. Happy 2024, even though we're almost through March. Where did that time go? Yeah, I thought I was going to be filming again December, January. Didn't quite go to plan. Those of you that follow me on Instagram would be aware that we sadly lost Carl's stepdad in December. Not the best Christmases, being honest. And just what with that and everything that kind of went on personally last year for us, I'm quite a sociable person, but I haven't felt sociable. I think when things get a bit much, sometimes you just need to take a step back and look after yourself and your family, which is what I did. So I've had to give myself a shove to record it. I've lost confidence again with it after all that psyching me up to start the podcast. So hopefully things have calmed down now and I will be able to do this podcast a bit more this year, even though it is almost April. Has anyone noticed how quick this year's going? It's flown by. Maybe that's what happens when you reach a certain age. You notice how quick the time goes by. That I have definitely noticed. So anyway, should we talk about fun stuff? I found my jumper. Any of you watched the last podcast? I was complaining because I actually had finished this sweater. Is Tin Can Knit's simple sweater, and I couldn't find it, but I found it because while I've been hiding in the background, I've done a lot of sorting around. You'll notice some of my yarn's gone here. I felt a bit tight on Carl because basically I take over most of the room with all my stuff. So we hadn't got anywhere to put our telly since we've moved here. So I had a rejig, got a different cupboard, sold the others like you do. And now we have a really nice relaxing bedroom, but also he can watch football in bed should he choose to. So that's why there's a bit of a, not such a pretty view with the TV. Anyway, there we go again, off on a tangent. This jumper is lovely. So I knitted this in Stylecraft Recreate yarn, which is a recycled yarn. It's not as soft as you would have, say, with merino, the fluffy yarns, but it's knitted up really well. It's comfortable to wear, and I actually did grey as the main colour, and then I added a stripe. So I bought the pattern set from Tin Can Knits. If anyone hasn't checked out their app, please go and do so. It is brilliant because you can put in your own sizes. You know, normally if you have a pattern, you have to go through and, well, I do, circle which is my size and all the rows to make sure I don't go off and knit the wrong size. With the app, you can put in your size and it will save it for you. So I use their app a fair bit, what with mitts, and I want to knit the cardigan, haven't got around to that yet, but I finished this last year, can't remember when, and yeah, I've worn it quite a bit and it fits nice. I feel it's yeah, I did the sleeves loose, so I didn't do the decreases because I didn't want tight sleeves. I wanted it comfortable. I haven't blocked it. I actually haven't blocked the last couple of jumpers because they seem to fit all right and I couldn't be bothered, being honest. So what I have done, because I seem to have a head like a sieve at the minute, memory wise, I know some people will methodically knit and they'll see it through to the end before they start another project. I'm not. I'm that crazy one that has 400 whips and in bags and all over the place. I'm never going to change that. That is my thing. That's what I'm happy with doing. And as they say, you do you, which is exactly, the only problem is I forget, if I've had to take the needles off or the crochet hook, I forget what it is. I forget the yarn, often forget the pattern if I haven't printed it, because I'm trying not to, waste paper and just have loads of bits of paper everywhere. So quite a few crafters keep a book. And I saw this earlier on in the year. I can't remember what podcast I was watching, and they keep books on what they've done. I thought that's perfect because I can write down the needles, I can write down when I've started it, when I finished it. So just a normal book, which obviously had to have a sheep on, obviously. And so for example, one of my first projects on here is the DRK Everyday Cowl, which I'm pretty sure is in this pile. I've got quite a bit to show you. So whilst I've been hiding, I have still been, when I can, knitting or crocheting. I've got a couple of crochet things on the go. And yeah, I've managed to make quite a few things. I lost my train of thought there. I can tell I'm a bit rusty now with this. So in this book, I write down what it is, who the pattern's by, what size I knitted or crocheted, the needles. I forgot to write the needles in here already, so that's great. Couldn't remember when I started it, but I did write finish. That was my first one though. I got better as I went along. So for example here, you probably won't be able to see it so well, but I have put down when I started a sweater and when I finished it, and needles and any other notes. It's brilliant to refer back to, particularly if I like doing the pattern. So one of the things I finished was the DRK Everyday Cowl. I really enjoyed this. This was a large. Did I do the largest size? Let me refer back to my book. Done quite a few bits actually, it's surprising. And yeah, the large. Easy to memorise pattern. This yarn is lovely. This is Cookston Crafts yarn. I get the subscription every other month I was getting, and there was enough. I think, I can't remember which month this was, but I've worn this a lot. Because you seam it at the back, you kind of knit it across at an angle. Because you seam it at the back, you can literally put it over your head. Shall I do it over my jumper? How to overheat, like so. Nicely clashes with the jumper. This is really, really comfortable. These sort of, I like a shawl and cowl, but this just kind of, it's not too tight on my neck, but it's great because I can actually tuck it in my coat if I want to wear it over my coat. I am going to take it off though before. Now I've got static in my hair, so it's all fluffy. So what else have I been doing? Oh, I've got to show you this. So it was, in the UK, it was Mother's Day. Just to warn you, this is going to be a back and forth podcast. So I've got to get back into the swing of things. And Mother's Day in the UK, and with the help of Carl, Jake got me a couple of things that I absolutely adore. So I don't know where the love of ceramics has come from, but I love little ceramics. And let me see if I can show you. Let me hold it up. Laurel Tree Pottery does the most beautiful little houses. I've got a little snowman, I've got a tree, and they got me that. I love little houses. Don't know where that's come from. Maybe because I live in a little house. There you go. There's a connection there. They got me that, which is lovely. I adore that. And sew-heart-felt.co.uk. I kept seeing these coming up on, obviously, adverts. I think it was on, I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram. Could have been both. So it turns up. So it says that on the back. Tiny animal inside. I had dropped a massive hint to the point I'd sent the link to Jake and went, I would like one of these. And so they did get one. So little house. I just adore this. It makes me so happy. It's a sheep. It's a heart. It's adorable. And he's got this, his tail looks weird, but he actually, so he can stand up. So he stands on my little unit downstairs. I was going to put him up here, but I didn't want to. I want to be able to look at him every day. In the room I probably spend the most in our living room. So he sits down there. So they got me that. So that was, see if you're going to stay up there. See, he stands up. I think you can see him. So they were my lovely little Mother's Day. I was so chuffed with them. I absolutely adore the sheep. They do, I think they make mice. They do various different characters all felted. They're just adorable. And I think they're really reasonably priced, which makes it even better. So I don't think that'll be my last one, but I love my little sheep. What else shall I show you? Ah, socks. So luckily I had been organised and wanted to knit Carl and Jake a pair of socks for Christmas. December was pretty much, most of December was quite a write-off for obvious reasons. And I'd already started these in October, which unlike me to be that organised. And so these were for Carl. I knitted him in double knit, because double knit does knit up quick socks. Super snuggly socks. They're a little creased because he's actually worn them. And I put hearts on them. Now these patterns are Pacific Knits. Has got all the doodle cards. I've shown them before. Massive fan. I bought this one. So the cowl with the different, I've shown this one before. This is worn a lot. This is in Co-op Knits DK sock yarn. Is it trees and the snowflakes? So I made my mother-in-law one for Christmas, and whilst we weren't really in the celebration kind of mood, she did absolutely love it, and hopefully it gives her lots of comfort and warmth because they're double layered. So I'll insert a picture here of the one I'd made for my mother-in-law, because obviously I haven't got it because I gifted it. But the cards that you use, or the patterns you can get off a website or Ravelry, you get the different patterns and you can mix and match them. So no one will ever have the same cowl or jumper or whatever you use them for, because it's down to what you like. So using the hearts from one of her sets, I added, which I've never done before on socks, and it was so much fun, and I will definitely be doing it again. So Carl got love hearts. And then let me show you Jake's. So my Jake is a gamer. Most teenagers are. He's a skateboarder and a gamer, depending on the weather. And this is a bit more old school. I made him a hat using Pacific Knits cards. It was, I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to shush now, I can't remember it. But anyway, it had Pac-Man, that sort of thing on it. So I thought it'd be really fun to make him the socks. So I did Pac-Man on one. I did the ghosts on the other one. He loved them. So that was a fun make. So they both got a pair of socks each. That's what's nice about the doodle charts and cards, is you can add them pretty much anything. I think they come out really well. So yeah, he loved them. I also, let's think, oh, the giveaway. So because it was so long ago, and it just wouldn't be fair, because I mean, I've had some people unsubscribe, which understandably I haven't posted anything. I'm going to forget that giveaway, and I'm actually going to do 2 giveaways on this podcast to compensate for last time in this. And you're going to get a skein of yarn. It will be Winnie's yarn, or it could be some other yarn. It'll be a surprise. So just comment below. Comment, how's your year started? Have you done anything nice, anything fun? I want to hear lots of fun, nice things. Yeah, anything that's kind of made you smile this year. What have you done that's been fun? And I'll pick 2 winners and announce them on the next podcast. That would be better than trying to go back over. It's been 4 months, which wow, where did that time go? So yeah, comment below something fun or nice that you've done this year, and I'll pick 2 winners on the next one. Hope that's okay. Talking of prize winners, so where's my book? Oh, it's up there, isn't it? I've actually, one thing I have done above the TV is I've actually got my knitting books, which is lovely because I can sit in bed looking at my yarn and my knitting books. Sado. So anyway, let's start again. I won a prize. It was so lovely, and I got a little bit emotional with it because I like doing giveaways, but when you win something yourself, it's just like, and it was well needed. It was just a really lovely thing. Anyway, botanical yarn, massive fan of, have quite a number of skeins of yarn. I've seen botanical yarn at a couple of yarn festivals I've gone to. Always end up having to buy something, obviously. So I won a £100 voucher to spend in their shop. I was beyond giddy with excitement. So I didn't rush and get some out. I took my time because there's so many nice things to choose from. So I picked some pink yarn because why not? I'm going to show you botanical yarn. I'll be very surprised if there's anybody out there that hasn't heard of botanical yarns. They've got their own podcast. They are a much bigger entity yarn dyeing wise than I could ever be. She's really done so well with it, and, you know, fair play to her. The yarn's lovely. So with my £100, what I picked was 2 skeins of yarn, and this is the 4-ply superwash, and these were in the lonely skeins. They're all lonely. Perfect. Don't know what I'm going to knit with it yet. They were really cheerful colours, so I picked that. I also picked the minis. The minis are so good. This was a mystery mini skein set. Look at the colours. You need to check out their podcast as well. They're just fun to watch. So I won them. I also picked, I have quite a few cases, but I wanted something to put. This was an empty case to put, it's Lantern Moon case, but it was to put some of my circular needles in, which are falling out because I've done such a good job of putting them in there. Got my Chalgoo, but I also have the Zing. Get that one out of the way. That's not a Zing. I have the Zing ones in here. And I just wanted to have them all together. I've got a couple of cases that have never quite worked, but these seem to be working pretty well. I don't know whether you're supposed to put the needles facing down. I've kind of shoved them in there for the minute. So I picked that. And then I also picked up there, I have 52 weeks of easy knits. And another book has just come out. 52 weeks of accessories. It's got really nice linen cover. And so I picked this book, which has loads of lovely knits. Let me try and find something that doesn't show. Look at that. There's loads of really lovely knits. They're like, I mean, it's called accessories because it obviously has lots of accessories. I talk nonsense. I really what am I on? Just hats, mitts, cows. Lovely. It's got that book, so you can't beat book. I'm all about digital, but you cannot beat a nice book. So that was my other thing. So thank you, Sophie at Botanical Knits. You just, yeah, you made my day, my week, my year. After a rubbish time, it was just really nice to indulge in something. It was lovely. So thank you. And go and check them out on their website and on YouTube. What else? I do feel like this is a bit ramblings. Right. it's the only problem when you dealing with the yarn, it goes, tickles your nose. Something else that I've been picking up intermittently, because sometimes if you're having to do a pattern that's quite full on and you're tired or you've got other things going on, you can't always concentrate. A bit like now, I can't concentrate. I have seen loads of people have been knitting the mitre blanket or the mitre squares. So I have already shared on here before, I'm a big fan of the Malabrigo Rios yarn, the worsted weight. And when I knit an accessory, say, with it, I always end up with a maybe 20-25 grams of yarn left. And what do you do with them? This has been perfect. So this is actually my Malabrigo mitre blanket. There's no organised colour thing. It's whatever I pick up gets knitted. And these are just some of the colours that I have had over the years. Of course, there's little ends because that's the way I roll. I'm hoping you can actually see that okay. And then pinks. So this is going to be a big blanket. I'm hoping it will be something that will maybe go on the bed, although if Ellie has anything to do with it, her and her pesky claws, anything that I have, any crochet blanket I have that I've made for home, not that I've gifted, because I don't let the dog near it. She thinks it's her bed, and we'll sit. She'll jump on the sofa. Yeah, we do let her on the sofa. She basically owns us, so she goes wherever she wants. She'll jump on the sofa, and then I've got 2 baskets under the coffee table which have some blankets in, and she will look at you. She'll look at the blanket. She'll look. I know they can't speak, but she's basically saying, "Oi, where's my blanket?" So then you have to get a blanket out, and then she spends 5 minutes growling and putting it in her mouth while she's. Does she not realise how many hours I spend making blankets? So this one, I'm not sure I'm going to let her little pesky claws on. It might be something that I put on the bed so that she can't get to it. But yeah, that's the mitre blanket. There's a free pattern. There's some paid for. There's a couple of free patterns, so you can easily pick up a pattern, or there's even some tutorials on YouTube that will show you how to do it. Once you do the first couple, it makes sense. You do them individually. So now I've got no needles on it, but when I go to join, there'll just be one of the squares on the needles. So it's quite a portable project. I had to go away with work for several days, and I took this with me. And normally I just take a small project, but this is really good car knitting. So in here I've got I've still got quite a bit. So I think it's when I do a cowl or even a hat, you can end up with a decent sized amount left. Perfect for this, to use up the scraps. You could crochet. I've even thought about maybe crocheting the granny squares, but I'm really enjoying the knitted one. And I'm making that on, if I can see, 3.75 choga. You only need small needles, not size, but length. I mean, you can actually do them on straights, but because I've got so many circulars, I use the circulars. I have also, I did a pattern test. A lovely maker, Care Now Designs, is bringing out, it should be out by the time, I'm timing it so this video comes out after she's launched a pattern, because I don't want to give anything away. So she came up with a pattern for a poncho, but when we were all knitting it, we found it was maybe a little bit smaller than a poncho, or a smaller fit, depending what yarn you used. So the yarn that I used was James Brett, I'm trying to remember, Marble Effect, the chunky one. And I haven't knitted a garment with that yarn before. It is so soft and it's a squishy wear. I'm going to insert a picture of, I had to I am not a fan. I'm surprised I can actually record podcasts. I really struggle. I do not like having my photo taken. But when you're pattern testing, it's good for people who are potentially going to buy the pattern to see the maker's design actually on a person. So I went down to because we live on the coast, I went down to the seafront and got Cole to take some pictures. But I didn't enjoy it. People must thought, who's that lunatic wearing the, you know, changing, putting jumpers on? Never be a model or a model, really. No, I couldn't do that. I'm really uncomfortable. I wish I could get someone to actually model them for me. That would be better, wouldn't it? Anyway, she's brought out, I'm going to put the name underneath, the pattern, and also Care Nail's name, website. Oh, wow, my train of thought's good, isn't it? Another polished performance. I'm going to put the name of the pattern underneath so that you can go and check it out and purchase it. I really liked it. I enjoyed doing it. The only thing that's weird for me, I love knitting in the round. This was flat panels that you joined, and that was the only bit I probably thought, oh, okay, I'm not really a fan of doing that, but I absolutely enjoyed it and loved it. I'll have to put it on, although it's starting to get milder, so it may not appear. Like I said, I'm going to put a picture on so you can see what it looks like. This is a wonderful garment. So it has a cable design. Put that there. Can you see why I couldn't wear it? It's got a double folded neck, and it's got a little picot design every so often round. Oh, well, I'm really selling this, aren't I? And you would wear it over a thermal top or a long sleeve tee, something like that. Mine came up lovely. I know some people that knitted it because it depends on the yarn, so I've used the yarn that was actually used in the original pattern. So I got gauge and I got the fit, and it is a looser fit, which is I much prefer. So have a look at the picture so you can see how it looks, because I'm not really wearing it well, am I? Great pattern, easy to follow, and using the yarn. This yarn is not expensive when you look at hand-dyed yarn. I've actually got 2 other jumpers to show that I've knitted this year, and they're all in cheap enough yarn, I feel. So go and have a check of this pattern out. Go and have a check of this pattern out. Oh, you can tell I'm rusty doing this. The ramblings of a mad woman. But I really like doing cables. That's one thing I do want to say. I'm getting static now. My hair. It's lovely. So because I enjoyed knitting in that yarn so much, I was hoping I was going to wear this jumper today, but I thought I'd wear this one because it's thinner. Let's refer to my book where I've wrote down what the pattern was. It's the Sunday Sweater by Petite Knits. I knitted the XL because I wanted a really oversized jumper that I could just throw on. So if we're down on the beach, it gets a bit chilly, or in the garden, anything like that, I can literally just throw it on. It's James C. Brett, it's exactly the same yarn. I bought this yarn, I think, to do a poncho pattern and never got round to it, so it worked out perfect that I actually had the yarn that they'd called for. The Sunday Sweater is knit in, I can't remember what yarn they'd used, but I'd worked out with the gauge and knew it would tally up. So the colour that the Care Nail poncho is MC83, so it's like a purpley blue with greens. This was such a nice jumper to knit. So it had the rolled, so it's the double where you knit. I mean, you don't have to do it that way, but I thought because the other one was like that, it'd be nice. So you knit double the size you need, and then you fold it in, and then add those stitches, or pick those stitches up, and then you end up with that. It was increased as you were doing the knits and the pearls. So you can see the neck design down to there. And then the jumper actually is knitted with big sleeves, you know, like the balloon type. And I love these sleeves so much. Big sleeves. I'm going to insert a couple of pictures here while I'm waffling, so you can see this jumper was also, I got told to take a couple of pictures, which, as I said before, did not enjoy. But just so that you could see how the jumper fits, because it's all very well holding it up. It helps to see how this yarn looks. Now this, I'm trying to think, what's this about? Would have been about £20, £24 to make when I worked out how much the yarn was. The only thing I will give myself some feedback on is I didn't write how many balls I used, which would have been help. My notes do say, these are very technical notes, super squishy and cheap to make. There you go. And I haven't blocked it, because one thing I will say with this yarn, it's got lots of stretch. So if you did knit with this and it come up a little bit smaller, it definitely will stretch. This is acrylic. I think it's 100% acrylic. I'm sure it is. So it has a lot of stretch. I have not blocked this. I have no intention of blocking it. When I do wash it, I'll just lie it flat so it doesn't stretch so much. I always do so when you do the ribbon and you knit pearl, or 2 knits, 2 pearls, I actually always do mine. I knit in the back loop and then pearl normally, because I find it just creates a neater knit stitch. You see on there? Probably can't see much of this, just a big fluffy jumper. I would make this jumper again, and I would also make one in this yarn. This is nice yarn for non-hand dye, because I do hand dyed, I love, but I also appreciate not everyone, you know, some sweaters could cost £100 to buy the yarn for. I couldn't afford to do that. I mean, yes, I've accumulated yarn over the years, and I also have dyed my own, but to be able to do a jumper that you can just throw on, if it gets mucky, it can go in the washing machine, perfect. So that's that. So a couple of pictures should have come up on that. Ellie says hi. I got, what's it called? Sirdar Jewelspun Aran. So I'm having to remember this. I haven't actually wrote any notes. Go me, remembering it. I wanted to knit, so whilst I've got the big jumpers, I wanted to knit a cropped jumper. Don't worry, I don't wear it cropped as is, but to go with dresses. So I have a number of dresses that I want to make a cardigan for, but a jumper is obviously a little easier. So I thought what I'll do, I'm going to make, using the Tin Can Knits app, I put in the size, I put in that I wanted cropped. I wanted 3/4. I love a 3/4 sleeve jumper. Like this is full length, but I've done it. I mean, it hasn't been blocked. I only did it so it sits above my bracelets. But I wanted a 3/4 one that wasn't too thick. And I thought, first off, I'm going to use it. So I had 2 balls of the Jewelspun. So to get those, so I'm talking in the UK, they would be round about £10 each a ball. I used 1.5 balls, so my jumper cost about £15. You can make, depending what your price point is, depending what you want, I think just make things in whatever yarn you like or can afford, because I've knitted the Care Now poncho, I've knitted the jumper, and that so collectively I had 5 balls of that yarn. I still have some left out of 1 ball. So I've managed to get 2 warm garments out of 4 and a bit. So this one I'm trying to see if I've actually wrote down the colour, which would help, wouldn't it? No, but I have wrote down, finished this early March. So I picked the large 3/4 sleeve. The needles were 4 and 5mm because I put in the sizes I wanted and what sleeves I wanted and what that I wanted to crop. The app worked it out and say I can save it as that project. So I've got that saved in the app, so I know exactly what worked, and if I ever want to make it again, I don't have to go through. I can just literally select that again. Excuse me. So I've my notes here because I'm technical notes. I put perfect fit. I absolutely loved it over my dress. I wore it, and you know when you wear something that you're just comfortable in and it feels nice. This was, and you know, and also it was a cheap jumper. So this is, didn't add short rows. I could have done, but as it was cropped, it was going to sit above the waistline anyway. I'm being honest, couldn't be bothered. Yeah, it's made no difference to it. So this is the Jewelspun Aran jumper. It's the flax, and look at me. Those of you who have been suffering this podcast for quite a while would see that the Tin Can Knits flax, the first one I did, I completely messed it up. I don't know what I was on. So where you've just got this band of pearl bump stitches, I did the whole sleeve in pearl bumps, and underneath I just did the normal knit stitch. I got it round the wrong way. It's so clear, the instructions are genuine, but now, because I actually read about them, I have done this. So you knit the jumper, and obviously you've got the raglan here, and the sleeves you then pick up, add the sleeves. So you may notice that my sleeves are slightly different colours. I don't care. I'm not bothered because it's just a nice jumper. It fits nice. I wore it over, I had like a denim, I think it's like a sleeveless dress, which I was really glad because I've lost some weight. I could actually fit into it. So not only was I swanning around going, look at me, I can do my dress up again, I actually put my jumper over it, and it just looked really, I thought it looked really nice. And I was told it looked nice anyway. So that is my Tin Can Knits cropped flax. I've got to knit Cole. I'm probably going to knit him a flax jumper. He has actually asked if I would knit my jumper, so I must be doing right now with it. And I'm probably going to do it in the Stylecraft Aran, the one that I did the mustard one in, because that is such an all-round good yarn. It has a little bit of wool in it. He tried on the one that I'd done. It's a little bit big because I like things slightly oversized. So I'm going to probably pick on the app the next one down for him. And I know the yarn meets gauge because I've already done one. The reason my hand's doing that is because it's actually over there. I took the jumpers out the top of my wardrobe and then started a avalanche of jumpers fell out. That was good planning. So yeah, some of my jumpers are over there. Anyway, I don't think there's anything more on that. It's not, and it's soft as well. Can't beat a soft jumper. This isn't as soft, but it doesn't, it's not irritating. It doesn't, I mean, it fits nice, and this is more of a slimmer jumper. This, I didn't want a cropped tight jumper. I didn't want to sort of draw attention to the fact I've got this smaller jumper on. But this probably could have been knitted a little bit shorter if I'd wanted to, but it does sit above the waistband, so it sits nice, the dresses. So yeah, I would go and check out their app, free app, Tin Can Knits, and you can pick your sizes that you want. So whilst I have been quiet, I actually have been knitting some big garments. I've got another thing to show. Oh, 2 actually. This I mentioned before, it's a free pattern architect's hat. I knitted a number, I think on the last podcast I knitted 4 or 5. I've gifted a couple at Christmas. Might have gifted more than that. I can't remember. Because I can only find one, so I must have gifted 4 and I've left this one. This is a really nice hat. This is in Ambah O Brien. I wonder if I actually say that right. Is it actually pronounced like that? It'd be funny if I've been saying it wrong all this time. Really, really fun hat. I have enjoyed knitting these so much, yeah, that I've knit 5. It's got really nice top to it as well. So that's it. If anyone wanted a quick knit hat, go and check that one out. I've shown that before. So I love a fingerless glove or wrist warmer, and I've made a number of them just where it's just knitting the round, binded off, done. I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting, because it can get monotonous when you're just doing knitting in the round, same colour. So the Astra Mitts by Ambah O Brien. I knitted the medium on a 4mm circular. I'm loving the fact I actually look like I know what I'm doing by writing the colours. I used I can't remember the colour of it because that would be too helpful. Let me show them you. What's that be? They look a bit like a cake, or is it a pie? What am I thinking? Is that a lattice type effect top? I really enjoyed making these. They were really addictive. They have a longer thumb than what I've made on my other ones, which I actually preferred. And Carl was actually would like some of these, but obviously in his sort of colours. So the pink, no, the beigey colour is Emma's Yarn DK. And the pink is Winter Rose by Cookston Crafts. This is another one that I got in a monthly subscription. Let's put them on. And so it's double knit, but they've actually, because it's a slip stitch design, thumbs, I do like the longer thumbs on them. Because it's a because it's like a slip stitch, you end up, let me show you what I mean, because doesn't this look neat? You end up with that, so it actually creates a double thickness DK, so they are much warmer. These are up there with favourite mittens I've made. You could do that a bit longer if you wanted. You could also, if you can figure that bit out, these would be great as mittens. Let me go over. I haven't actually made any mittens. I do have some on. God, I hope I never lose this book. I never remember anything, would I? I have started. Have I got it in here? Oh, The World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knit. It's also a bit of a Tin Can Knit show. And I have started making a medium pair with worsted yarn and Winnie's slub, because I love slub yarn. Haven't finished them, but I'm so far through the first one. Maybe I'll show them next time. I had knitted or started them for Cole for football. By the time I finish them, it's going to be warm. Thought that counts, isn't it? Anyway, go and check these out. They are Astra Mitts, and you can do whatever colour. You just want to have the contrast so you can see it. I 100% will be making more of these. They fit really well and they're warm, and I think they look quite nice. So yeah, while I've been hiding away, I have still been making things, because I think sometimes it's an escape, isn't it? Whether you've got a stressful job, busy life, health issues, bereavements, all that kind of thing. It's good to have it gets me through. It gives me, probably sounds a bit dramatic there, it just gives you a bit of a focus and an escape as well. Like when we had lockdown, I don't know what I would have done without having my crochet, my yarn dyeing, my knits. I have made a lot of stuff though. I have found that when you start sorting through them, makes me happy. I love it. And also I wanted to put on here, I was hoping to do it a while back, but obviously I've taken a while to come up with another episode. Winnie's yarn, I'm still doing it, and I just have needed to make some room to get some more yarn because I don't have a lot of space for it. I'm not, not making a business out of it. Couldn't actually afford to. But I have over on Crochetknitlovebyjo.co.uk on my website, Shopify, all of my 100 gram skeins are reduced to £10 because I need to clear some. Thank you to those of you that have purchased yarn. Nana C makes, you're lovely because you've done several purchases, and thank you. I really appreciate it. I would love to do yarn dyeing full time and anything fibre related. It's, yeah, you've got to be really fortunate for the business to grow, and even your podcast to grow, to actually make a living out of it. Don't think I'll be doing that. But yeah, anyway, so go and check Winnie's yarn out. £10 skeins. I'm probably gonna have a sort out on the website because I need to go through what there is. I've already done a full inventory, so it's all up to date on there. Go and check that out if you want. If you haven't already, like this video when you've finished, or even subscribe. I know I've lost some subscribers. It's not the be all and end all. It just spurs me on. It's a really big compliment if someone wants to watch my ramblings. Yeah, so go and like, because the giveaways, I'll be picking people who are actually subscribed to the podcast, because you deserve to win. So I hope everyone has been okay. Don't forget to comment below to be in for a chance. There's 2 skeins of yarn up for grabs because there's been such a big gap since the last podcast. And comment below on what you've done that's been fun or enjoyed or nice this year, because I want to see lots of happy things. And all being well, I will either be coming back in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. I'm going to see how I go, whether I can do one every 2 weeks. If not, for the time being, just to get back into it, it'll probably be monthly. And don't forget, I'm over on Instagram, Crochetknitlovebyjo. And yeah, I look forward to interacting with you a bit more. It's definitely needed. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching and persevering through this episode. It does feel like it was a little... Anyway, when have I ever been professional? That's never going to happen. So take care. Start again. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you soon. Bye.